morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening. Welcome to the On the Whistle podcast. My name is Alistair Howarth. I am your host for our AFCON preview series, and we've got another banger for you today. It is the Stallions, Burkina Faso, in the hot seat as we preview their chances at AFCON 2023. We're joined by Stephane Bassalia Ouattara, who gives us some expert insight into what is going on behind the scenes in the Federation and why things aren't as rosy as they might seem from the outside. Just how important Bertrand Traore to this team is and how much of a legend he's still held up as in the country, and making his predictions about how far this team that is perennial dark horses will go at the AFCON 2023. Stefan, you're joining us from Ivory Coast already. You've got the beautiful backdrop behind you. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. How are you doing today, brother?
Thank you. I'm fine. Hope that you are going well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting us chatting before the podcast, because it's sometimes really difficult for those of us who aren't in a country to kind of understand what's going on in the country, the mood of the nation, and things like that. Kind of coming into this tournament, it's been a rocky kind of year for Burkina Faso. The lots of you haven't. I think your only win was actually in the AFCON qualifiers against Togo, and then your win against Ethiopia in the World Cup qualifiers. It hasn't been an amazing kind of last year or so. What is the mood of the nation coming into the tournament? Are people excited that it's kind of that the tournament's coming, particularly the tournament coming in a neighboring country in Cote d'Ivoire? Or what is the expectations, the mood in the country ahead of the tournament?
Actually, the mood is very good, because many people think that they are playing at home, because Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso, I can say that it is the same nation, because we share a lot of things together in sport, in politics, in economic. We share a lot of things together, so the mood is very good. People are exciting. A lot of people begin to come in Cote d'Ivoire for the AFCON. And many people in Burkina Faso have their family in Ivory Coast. Many players of the team, of the national team, have also their families in Cote d'Ivoire. And many people in Cote d'Ivoire have also their family in Burkina Faso. So, in Burkina Faso here, it is very amazing. People are sitting and they are ready. They are ready for the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, because it will be a great and not, it will be amazing. It will be great, and I think that the trophy will come at every people, and they say that because it is in Cote d'Ivoire, and we are sure 100% sure that the trophy will be back. It will not be back, because we haven't win the trophy, but they say that the trophy will come in Burkina Faso.
I love that. And we were talking about, that, before we started recording, about how it's a really interesting AFCON because of it being in Cote d'Ivoire. Four of their five neighboring nations are all at the tournament, and kind of like you say, it feels like a home tournament for you guys, and for Guinea and Mali and Ghana as well, and even other places like Nigeria, Senegal, Guinea-Bissau. It's not too far, so hopefully we'll be seeing kind of real proper support, for all of your nations coming into it. And it's interesting because obviously Burkina Faso have this very interesting history where you've done so well in the Africa Cup of Nations without actually winning it. Obviously 2013 you were runners up, 2017 you got to the semifinals. Last time in 2021 you got to the semifinals, even perhaps when you weren't expected to. And Burkina Faso always seems to perform when it comes to the AFCON, even if things aren't going well in World Cup qualifiers or anything else. It's the AFCON is where you guys perform. But you were saying that things haven't been very smooth coming into this Africa Cup of Nations, and particularly around the federation, and even that the league itself in Burkina Faso, the top division, hasn't been playing for the last couple months. What's been going on in the country?
Actually, there is a problem between the president of our federation, Lazare Bansé, and a lot of Premier League club, because many of club want that Lazare Bansé submit his resignation, because they think that is the management is not good, and this management cannot help them to progress and to get some good results. And also the president of the federation said that he cannot submit his resignation actually, because it was on an AG, it was on an assembly that he get his election. If they want that he submit his resignation, they have to wait a bit after the AFCON. After the AFCON, he will submit his resignation. That the club say that the club say that they want immediately and resignation for the president of the president of the football federation. So actually, there is a lot of problem. Both parts have not some. There is not some understanding because between the two paths. So it's difficult. And if we want to go, if we want to go in another path, there are many supporters of Stallions will say that Hubert Valdez have to be sacked, because they think that it is the same things, the same tool he used as the it is the same tool he used. I want when I say the same tool he used, they say that there is no changement. There is no changement because Kamalo, it was the same system of tactic Kamalo used, and after Kamalo, they think that Hubert Velu will come with some new things, new ideas, new new manner kind of work, but they think that there is no changement. So many supporters say that Iberville have to be sacked, and after this, there is also a problem between the club, the president of club, Premier League club, and the president of our football federation, and also our stage. You know that a stallion will go in Abu Dhabi in Abu Dhabi for the preparation before the AFCON, before the beginning of AFCON. And many people think that the used of the fact that they used Abu Dhabi for the preparation is not good, because it is very depends a lot of money. So they think that it will be easy if they prepare the same for the AFCON in some country like Togo, or Nigeria, or they could come in Ivory Coast to prepare themselves for the AFCON. So it is some kind of problem to come and to make that here in Burkina Faso before the beginning of AFCON. There is a lot of things to solve if we want to do better, like the last AFCON.
It's interesting you're saying that there's already so much pressure on Hubert Velud. Yes, the expectations were very high for him to come in. Obviously, he's got a lot of experience, coaching on the continent. But yeah, I have to ask, why was Kamumalo's contracts not renewed after the last Cup of Nations? Because obviously he took Burkina Faso to the semifinals, which I think surprised a lot of people. This isn't, and we will get onto it, but I don't think the squad is as strong as the team that got to the final in 2013. It's not a vintage Burkina side, but he did so well. So why didn't he stay on? Why was Hubert Velud brought in?
For actually many people, we don't know the exactly the main reason that Kamumalo contract has not been renewed. But as people say that it is because the new president of the football federation, because Kamumalo come with the latest president of our football federation named Sita Sangare, and after Sita Sangare, the new is Lazare Banse, and they say that the new management, he want to put some people who will know, he want to pick some people that he could work with them, and that's the reason why he decided to not renew the contract of Kamumalo. And also many people so also think also that it is because our last say our game be with the Cameroon. We win 3-0 at the in the last AFCON Cup in Cameroon, in the bronze medal competition, the third place. At the first half we win 3-0, And in the second half, we make draw 3-3 and we lost the game on penalties, and Cameroon win the third place. Some also other people think also that it is because of this game that Kamalo contract has not been renewed. So there is there is another thing. Many people give their version, but actually there is not. The federation didn't give a reason on why it didn't renew the contract of Kamalo.
Mm. I mean, if he was sacked because of that loss on penalties to the home team in Cameroon, that's incredibly harsh.
No, yes, yes, but he say that it is, we win the we win the first half 3-0, and Cameroon come again and puts 3 goals, and we were not be able to won the game. Some of them say that it is inconceivable that we win and we lost again. So it was something like that,
Hmm.
but there is not a good version of why Kaumalo has been sacked.
That puts so much pressure on Velud, isn't it? Because Kamalo did so well. He got you to the fourth place finish. Yes, frustrating not to get the bronze medal. But also, is there also a question mark around the fact that Kamalo is Burkinab and Hubert Verlud isn't? Because we've seen over the last 4 or 5 years that actually it's the local based coaches that seem to be doing really well for their nations. You think Aliou Cisse, Jamal Belmadi,
Exactly,
Walid
exactly.
Regragui. Is there a sense in Burkina Faso that our local coach did so well, he got us to the semifinal, and now we got rid of him for another European to come? Is that part of the kind of the thought as well in the country?
Yes, yes, there is, because the people they make the same comparison, because they say that in Senegal, in Senegal, Aliou Cisse his first at his beginning, it was not so easy. We saw it. He lost the qualification for the World Cup, and after that he qualified the team for the World Cup, and they reached they reached how say it, before the quarter final. They qualify for the round of
They're on the
16.
16. Hmm.
They qualify for the round of 16, and after they won the AFCON in the last edition, they reached the quarter final, and they lost, and they failed to be qualified. So many people think that the federation could invest in a long-term deal with Kamumalo. Many people think that it will be a long-term deal, and very cool. The federation could help Kamumalo with some formation, for example, and for some training. I want to say the federation could invest on him, because it is a local team, a local coach, and if they invest in Kamumalo, Kamumalo could be an example for other local coach of a nation. For example, if the president, the federation invests in on Kamumalo, they invest on him, they take him, they take some training, some good training for him. It can allow him to increase his level, and if Kamumalo level is increased, he can come in the nation and train also some local team, some local coach. I want to say some local coach. So unfortunately, it was not the case. So actually, people are not happy, because it is a French code. Because actually, in politically Burkina Faso, in French, there are something was going wrong. So one, it is a French coach and it is an European coach. So it is a double pressure. It is a double pressure on him, and actually Hubert Valdez have to do better than he have to do better than Kamumalo, and it will not be easy for him, because many of his players don't play at the club.
Yeah, so let's get into the players, because I think there's some interesting players to talk about, and I think the first one that obviously always jumps out, and I wanted to ask you about is Bertrand Traore, right? Because I wanted to get your sense. and the Burkina kind of angle on Bertrand Traore, because obviously he had so much hype around him when he was young, kind of signing for Chelsea when he was 14, 15, and things didn't quite work out, and now he's playing Aston Villa, but like you said, not playing much, but obviously is part of a very, very good team. And for the national team, I think there was expectations for him to become one of the legends of the team, to become one of the best players in Burkina history, to go down with the likes of Alain Traore, Jonathan Petroipa, these guys,
Yes,
Banse.
yes, yes.
But he hasn't quite fulfilled that potential. But but at the same time, he's done well. He scored a couple goals at the last AFCON, was integral to the team. What is the perception of Traore in Burkina Faso, and kind of what he has done for the both himself and for the national team?
Actually, Bertrand Traore is the best, one of the best, or the best, I can say, the best player of Burkina Faso after Aristide Bonse, after his brother Alain Traore, after Jonathan Pitropa. Actually, he's the leader of the club, the group, the leader of the group of the team. And Bertrand Traore is one of the likely people players of in Burkina Faso. Well, we can add Edmond Tapsoba from Bayer Leverkusen, our defender. But actually, Bertrand Traore is when Bertrand Traore is injured, it is something that every all the country is sick. If Bertrand Traore is injured, it is something that all the country is sick. Everybody, everywhere you go, people speak about Bertrand Traore. They say, Bertrand Traore is sick. How could lean up our team, how we will be, which player could replace Bertrand Traore. There is a lot of discussion when Bertrand Traore is not in the team, but unfortunately, he is not lucky at club because when he back with the national team, when he come in the national team for playing, he come back on club with some injuries. Please. When he come back to play with the national team, he unfortunately he back to a team to a club with some injuries, and unfortunately he didn't play in Aston Villa, and it's not good for him. It's not good for him. And even if Bertrand Traore is sick, we cannot go with injury. We cannot go in the AFCON without him because he is very experienced. And when you see our latest game for the qualification for the World Cup 2026, our first game, it is Bertrand Traore, and when he entering the game, he provide the assist for the equalizer goals. And in the second game against Ethiopia, we win 4-0. But it is because of Bertrand Traore. When Bertrand Traore enter, he provide the assist for the first goal, and after the assist for the first goal, he scored a second goals. And in the two game, he scored. He score one goals and provide two assists. So it is his impact. He played less in the two games for the qualification for the World Cup. He played less, but it is thanks to him we won 4 points because Egypt won the first two games and they have 6 points. And it is thanks to Bertrand Traore that we got the 4 points. So even if Bertrand Traore is sick, his experience can be helpful, can help the team. So that's the reason why he is not in good form, but the coach take him for the AFCON. So I think that Bertrand Traore is one of the best player. Actually, he's one of the best player of the national team, and many people is liked by many people. And with our prayer is that we pray that Bertrand Traore be, even if it is in 17% in form for the AFCON, because it could help the team for our targets.
Yeah, that's interesting that he's still seen as the hero, and especially now he's so experienced, having played at elite level for so long in Europe, especially coming from such a young age. So even though he's not very old, he's so experienced. But I guess the question is then, if he's out injured, and potentially at the AFCON he might not start every game, he might not be as involved as you would hope, depending on his fitness. You know, and I guess this was also a big question at the last AFCON was who is going to play up front, because I remember the last AFCON in games where he played up front as the striker by himself in the middle, he looked really lost. He didn't know what he feel like he was playing, in his natural position. He didn't look very good. Whereas when he then moved out onto the wing, he looked
Exactly.
he looked excellent. And I would say the same with Ouattara as Dango Ouattara, when he's playing through the middle, it doesn't look like he knows what he's really doing. He's not good at holding up the play. He doesn't know how to run in behind. But when he's coming off the wing, he looks excellent like he did in the last AFCON. I think back to that goal he scored against Tunisia. That was kind of a classic winger kind of cutting inside, lovely finish.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, so I guess the question is who is going to play up front it for the national team? Are they going to look to play Bertrand or Dango up front in that striker's role, or who's going to play in that position?
It's very difficult to replace Bertrand Traore, but I think that it could be Mamadi Alex Bangré. Mamadi Bangré, he play for Toulouse in French league. He play for Toulouse Football Club. It can be Mamadi Alex Bangré. We can try also Faisal Tabsoba. He play also in French League 2. French League 2, we have Faisal Tabsoba, he could play. Or we can try, if we can also try, we can change the system. Burkina Faso team, we don't play with the possession. We don't play with the possession. We play in defending mode, and we try to process in counter attack. So I think that the coach could change the system. We will have four player in defense, in defender, 4-4-2. We can try in 4-4-2, four defender, Edmond Tapsoba in center back, and we can try Issouf Dayo or Adamo Nagalo as the second center back, and as left back we can try Abdul Abdul Gebre, and at right back it will be actually one play Issa Kabore from Luton City is injury, so we don't know if he could play for the AFCON. It is a muscular injury, Issa Kabore. So we can try with four player in the middle. Blati Toure, Ismaila with Gaugo, and we can find another defensive midfielder to put in right, and another defensive midfielder to put in left. And we can try with Dango Ouattara with Mamadi Bangre, or Dango Ouattara with Abdul Faisal Tabsoba. A system is something like that to compense Bertrand Traore lacks absence. I want to say.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting question for Veloud, is how does he play in kind of in and facilitating the team. I wanted to ask you though about the tactics, because like you said, Burkina Faso has always been a counter-attacking team. You've never been a
Exactly.
team that wants the ball, that wants to keep possession. You've always wanted to play and
Exactly.
play. Do you think that that's partially why the Stallions have been so successful at Africa Cup of Nations, because you're set up this, as a defensive team to play on the counter? Is that part of the reason why you think the team has kind of traditionally done so well at Cup of Nations?
It is in our blood, if I can say. Defending move it is in our blood, because we have some good defender, and the formation is based on if you want to play in Burkina Faso, you have to be good, and if you are good physically, you can defend very good, and you can play like you can be in the playground to like as after you can make 19 minutes, and before without knowing that you are doing 19 minutes. If you are good, you can I want to say you can do 19 minutes. I want to say you can do all the game without a problem. And here the formation is based on the physics, and you will see that, for example, in the last AFCON in Cameroon, all the goals we score. We score the goal by defending mood. Some example, you can see the goal we score against Tunisia. It is the best example. The goals of Dango Ouattara in the quarter final. You see, after the end of the first half, you the recuperation of the ball of Edmond Tapsoba things, and after Abdou Soba in something that three action, Dango Ouattara put the stallion on the lead. So it is our typical mode of playing.
Stefan, you're talking about the kind of tactical side of Burkina Faso and how this counter-attacking football has seen them do so well. I now want to look at the group you're in at the AFCON in Cote d'Ivoire, and obviously, you have Algeria are the big team, the big favorites. Obviously, you know them well. You played them twice in World Cup qualifying for the last World Cup. Got two very good draws, and a team very well, and a team that I think really suits Burkina Faso's style of football. Playing on the counter attack. Algeria will want to have most of the ball, and that suits Burkina Faso. But then, you know, I want to look at the other two games actually more so because obviously you're playing Mauritania and Angola, who are both teams who are going to try and give Burkina Faso the ball. They are going to be the ones who are going to play on the counter attack. They're the ones who don't want to control the ball. They, particularly I think Mauritania is a really well organized side. And Angola, I think, have kept 3 clean sheets in their last 3 games. So, really difficult teams to break down. How is Burkina Faso, how is Valoud going to manage both, trying to play those games where they need to break down Mauritania, they need to break down Angola, whilst then transitioning to playing on the counter attack against Algeria, kind of in that second game in between the other two?
In the group our group, it seems that too easy, but it is not easy. When you try to say in the last 10 years, Burkina Faso, we reach 3 times the semi-final or the AFCON. Don't automatically many people see us as a favorite of the group after Algeria. But you know that in the last edition and the AFCONs, we remember that there is not a small teams. Comor in the last edition, they do some good thing, and Madagascar in 2019 they do some good thing. Even Mauritania also is not a small team, so I think that it will be also difficult for us. And our team is little six because, as I told later, many players don't play in the club. We can count them. We have only Edmond Tapsoba, Hervé Kofi. It is actually Dango Ouattara become to get the squad for Bournemouth in the last 2 games, and he didn't play as winger. He played as left back. So many players don't play at the club. So we will go, but we'll play by our last position by contract. We will play by defending, and I think that when we will face Algeria, we will defend. We will left them the positions, and we will try to go by counter-attack to score. If we play Mauritania, it will be it is the team like us. But as I say, Mauritania is not a small team. There are some physically there are some good players, and technically they are very disciplined. So there is also a good coach, Ami Abdou, and it is the last coach from Comor. So it will be very difficult. So I think that every match we have to after the stage, I think that Ibevelu will have an idea of the form of the player. But I think that instantly, if I have to make a choice tactically, I think that it will be like the last years. We will go by defending. We will let the position to the teams, and we will try to process by counter attack.
And I think that's a style of football again that it might be hard to do against Mauritania and Angola, but obviously if you get out of the group, then there's chances that you could face the winners of, I think, Group E, which I think it might be Tunisia or Mali, which again is a team that you'd be happy to let them have the ball and counterattack, and it suits you. It's almost interesting. Burkina Faso seems more suited for playing in the knockout rounds than in the group stages, because in the group stages you have to break down these defensive teams, but in the knockouts you can afford to play on the counter attack. You can afford to play defensively, which I think is going to be really interesting. Stefan, thank you so much for your time. We want to end our podcast with a quick fire round of questions, as we've done with everyone else who's come on as an expert. So I'm just looking for some quick answers. So coming into this tournament, who is Burkina Faso's most important player?
Most important player. Actually, it is difficult to say one player is important, this player is important. Every players are important. Every player are important, and we have some players who are more important than others. Every player is important, but we have in the group we have some players who are more important than others.
Who's the one name you give me? I need one name, Stefan.
Let let's try. Defensively, Bertrand Traore, not Bertrand, defensively, sorry, our center back, Edmond Tapsoba, we cannot go at the AFCON without Edmond Tapsoba because he is our head, he is our ace, he is all of
Mm-hmm.
what we want in the defense and in the competition in our team in the team. So I can say Bertrand Edmond
Okay,
Tapsoba
Edmund
is
Tapsoba.
one
Okay.
of our is one of our important player. And if we go,
It's always difficult. That's why we have to ask these questions. Stefan, so if Edmund Tapsoba, amongst others, is the most important, who is the one young player, who is the youngster on this team that you think we should be watching out for, who could potentially break into the team this tournament?
the young player, actually it is only Issa Kabore. Issa Kabore is still already the young player of the team. And at the last edition he won the young player of the competition in Cameroon. And I think that for this edition it is the only it is the only it is it's still the same young player. And I think that he have to confirm that he progressed. And I think that he is the young player of the team to watch for in the team. And it is a young player to watch for this edition. And I hope that his injury is not difficult and will be able to play for the AFCON.
For sure. Now I have the hardest question,
Okay.
Stefan. How far? What is your prediction for Burkina Faso? How far in the tournament will the Stallions make it?
For the last edition, I predict the semi-final. I predict the semi-final, and we reach the semi-final. But actually, it is difficult for me to predict the semi-final because our team is very sick. Our team is very sick. We lost a lot. We lost a lot of qualities, and many players, as I say, don't play in the club. But I think that it will be a good. The objective as a Burkinabe, I want that we take the cup. As a Burkinabe, I want that we take we reach I want that we reach the final. But objectively, I know that our team is sick. It will be very difficult for us to reach. It will be difficult, but not impossible for us to reach the final. But I think that at least we can reach the quarter final this edition.
Okay, quarterfinals. Yeah, and then if Burkina Faso is going to the quarterfinals, who is your prediction to win the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations?
No, but let's say Morocco.
Okay, and then coming into the tournament, who do you think is going to be the top scorer of the tournament?
Top scorer of the tournament. It will be very. Let's say Youssef Industry. Youssef Industry.
Yusuf En
Industry.
Nisri. Okay, yeah, makes sense. If Morocco get to the final, Morocco win it. Yusuf En Nisri, and then who will be the player of the tournament?
Player of the tournament. Very hard. Player of the tournament. Yes, it is very easy to a midfielder to a player of the tournament. Midfield, midfield. Yes. If Cote d'Ivoire reach the final, I think that it can be Ibrahim Sangare. Yes, if Cote d'Ivoire reach the final, it can be Ibrahim Sangare. Yes.
All right, Stefan, thank you so much. That's it for me. I won't give you any more hard questions. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise on the stallions, and hopefully we'll see you in Cote d'Ivoire, and hopefully we'll be seeing you after Burkina Faso has finally lifted the trophy.